Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hi, Terry.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week we continued our West Wing watch with the campaign episode La Palabra, but first we watched 2 more episodes of Fosse, Verdon. Where Am I Going? And All I Care About Is Love, both of which had many fine qualities and much human drama, but not a lot of razzle-dazzle.
No.
Where are those musical numbers? Even if we don't recognize the musical, can we get some musical numbers?
Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit of a bait and switch from the first episodes of this show.
Yeah.
Like, Chicago, come on, let's see it. I love Chicago.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of Chicago. We got the actors playing Chita Rivera doing all that jazz in a rehearsal room.
2 measures.
Yeah. Until he has a heart attack. And then we had, in the first one, we had Gwen singing at the piano.
Yes.
But goodness, it was... it's never been, even with all the musical numbers, it's never been cheerful, happy, fun television. But this was... Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely not a
fun
binge show because you need some recovery time.
Well, you need time to go search on Google and see what other people thought about it and find all the backstory. And
yes.
But even though the second episode that we watched, was certainly bleak in terms of his health and in terms of his self-analysis. I really did. I saw some reviews that thought that him being Lenny throughout the episode was kind of overly expositional, and it was, but I just loved that performance so much and really enjoyed hearing him talking about it, so I will buy it. But what the heck with the recasting of Nicole?
Yeah.
This is like a couple of months after they were at the beach house.
Right.
Does nobody notice that somebody has kidnapped their daughter and replaced her with... And not only is she... I mean, I understand that this actress is going to play her from ages 12 to 17, but the actress is 26. And you know what? The actress looks 26. So... And that little girl made such an impression,
she was
especially
wonderful.
With that song.
Yeah.
She was wonderful. And so you just grew so attached to Nicole as that actress.
Right.
And yeah, sure, if you want to say 5 years down the line, we have a flash forward and it's played by a different person, okay. But this can't be more than a few months later, right?
Right, I agree. When you do this kind of thing, kids grow up and you're going to have to probably change actors at some point. But I feel like they picked the wrong point.
Oh, absolutely. It made no sense at all. And it's like, when you first see her, she's in the kitchen. I'm like, who the heck is that?
Right.
Why are they, what? No, it doesn't even look like her.
And then they talk about, Gwen says, well, she's at home with a sitter. And you're like, she's way old enough to be the sitter. She doesn't need a babysitter.
I mean, I can see so many decisions made for artistic purposes and so much artistic license taken with things and done so beautifully. And this is just a massive clunker. I mean, no, I feel bad for the actress. I mean, good for her getting a job, but wow.
Yeah.
It just pulls you out of it and throws you across the room.
Yes.
The actress who played Nicole for those first 5 episodes, just exceptional work for a kid. The singing in that one scene.
For an actual child.
For an actual child. I can't find her age online, but she ain't no 26.
No.
So, wow. That was just a major false note in a really traumatic episode. And it's kind of too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kept waiting for there to be some line that would acknowledge it. She's really grown up these last few months, somebody says. Or she's just like a different kid. I don't know what to do. Like a little wink to the camera, like I think they did on Roseanne when Becky was suddenly played by a completely different actress.
Right. Well, it's like on The Crown. I know you don't watch that show, but every 2 years, they totally recast it. So, the first 2 seasons, it was Claire Foy as the queen. And now it's going to be, whenever the next one comes out, which who knows when that is, it's going to be Olivia Colman. But it's so, talked about. It's been their plan all along.
Yeah. If they'd had a different actress every episode for her, then I think you could kind of say this is just, he was in and out of her life and things change and, you blink and your kid is at a different stage. But they had her for those 5 episodes, and she had that song, and she had the scenes at the beach house where she was doing things she wasn't supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And wasn't she supposed to be real tight with Anne? And now she's saying, Mom, how can you stand having Anne around? It's like, what? Yeah. It's a completely different character altogether. Right. Continuity. Continuity. Is there a continuity person? I don't know. The actual Nicole Fosse is helping out with this thing and is very involved in it. So right. I guess she didn't have a problem with it. So why should we? But still, as a viewer, screech.
It was jarring. Definitely.
I was looking around Twitter for people who are similarly puzzled, and I found some. Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, what did you think of these?
Yeah, I mean, it continues to be, so well done, even though it's hard to watch because the subject matter is so difficult. Mm-hmm. And, the relationship between Gwen and Bobby is so interesting. And everyone around them is like, well, so you're married, but you both have all these other people in your life. And, or Gwen's at the hospital like, Anne, go home. I'm here, even though Gwen hasn't lived with him probably for years at this point.
Yes.
Yes. But the way that their personal and professional lives were so deeply intertwined is fascinating.
Right. And I mean, they never did get divorced. Mm-hmm. So she really is the wife, but it's just kind of weird. You kind of wonder what is in this for Anne exactly. And why is she not just saying, you know what? That's fine. Right. So long. I just continue to be amazed by those performances as the 2 leads. Yes. Who just seem to, I never look at that as, hey, Sam Rockwell has given a great performance. It's just, I forget that it's an actor and not actually Fosse. Right. He's just amazing. And I thought it was interesting in these two. I mean, I think up till now, the whole series has been pretty sympathetic toward Gwen. She's really kind of awful in these 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. She wants this play, and she really doesn't care. The guy is in a psychiatric facility, and she's making promises for him. I guess she lies to get him out, they say at one point, and she's just driving him pretty much almost to death. I think she lied
to get him out at his
request, but still,
right. Yeah, this is the father of your
she's
child.
She's supposed to be the grown-up. Yes. It's like... I mean, she does at least tell the heart doctor all the drugs he's on, but...
Right, but she totally manipulates Anne to try to get her to convince him to change his plans.
And she manipulates him by throwing a different director into the mix that she knows he will feel competitive with and not... so she just plays everybody because she wants what she wants. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in a way, good for her. Go get it. But at the same time, it's, this was not a totally one-sided sacrificing woman and controlling man kind of thing. It seems like she maybe gave as good as she got sometimes.
Right. And it's pretty impressive that the real Nicole is involved in this. You know? I mean, she is allowing the real unvarnished truth.
That's right.
Well, we don't know, I guess, how much of it is still not included, but, it's pretty amazing to think about portraying your parents in this way.
I mean, I know I've seen some interviews with her, just lead headlines for the interviews of saying she wanted to sort of give her mother as much credit as her father has always gotten for their work. And that is true. But these were working out some childhood issues there.
Right. Well, she's not shrinking away from...
it must have been just the weirdest possible life for her. Yeah. Being sort of like the silent witness to all this stuff. Right. That's gonna, if not mess you up a little bit, give you some scores to settle later in life. Mm-hmm. As certainly they show Fosse doing. Right. It's, again, still such a creatively presented piece of work. Right. And such really meaty material that I'm willing to excuse it a whole lot. Mm-hmm. But... come on.
Except when it comes to young Nicole.
Yeah, it seems like there would have been a better time for that transition to be made. Yeah. Blake Baumgartner, I think, was the young girl who played her. Mm-hmm. We miss you, honey. Yeah. You did a great job.
She might be back. You never know. the way this...
If there's flashbacks, they got to go back to her in flashbacks, don't they? Maybe not.
They better not try to not include her in the flashbacks. I'll be mad.
Hi. Well, moving on to our continued watch of The West Wing. This week's was, as I said before, another campaign episode where a little bit of a tide gets turned. They lose one candidate for president on the Democratic side and not the one it looks like they're setting up all the way through. Mm-hmm. So what did you think? Did you think this was going to be the end for the Santos campaign, or did you figure it's Jimmy Smits? It's not going to be the end of the Santos campaign.
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah. Pretty sure they didn't bring the dude on to lose.
Exactly. Yeah. And, it was certainly compelling, seeing the switcheroo of, Josh being like, okay, it's time to call it. And Matt and even Helen being like, nope, we're going to go. And the reasons why. And so
that was, I still feel like we're getting subpar Josh. I mean, this great turnaround was basically because Donna had a hunch and precipitated the announcement of Hoynes' situation. Maybe he was hoping he could hang on until after Super Tuesday before the news got out.
Right.
And also Matt having the good idea to talk to the governor and then stand behind him without actually saying anything. Mm-hmm. None of those were Josh calls.
Right.
He had already kind of thrown in the towel. So, come on.
Right. Wake up.
Can we see Josh making a good call somewhere, please?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. But maybe he's going to be a true believer again now. He's made his plan for Texas.
Yeah.
Don't know whatever happened to the how many point plan did he have?
Right. It was 9.
We haven't heard about that for a while.
I guess maybe it only went up through New Hampshire or something.
Yes.
He thought they were going to be done by then.
They ran through all 9 states already.
Yeah.
But good for Donna. Made quite an, and good for Will, as they were talking about on the podcast, for, you want to do more? Here. Turn around, give this statement.
Right.
Cold.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Will might have gotten a little bit more credit for that than he actually deserves, but because, they're in the middle of a campaign. Like, it's all hands on deck. It's...
Right.
Although, of course, he is the sitting vice president, so...
Right.
They should have the means.
Yeah.
But, I still think, I agree that it was smart of Will to do that, and
right.
I applaud it.
Yeah, I like Will so much, and I respect the job he's doing on his campaign so much. It kind of hurts to have to root against him, but we do have to kind of root against him. Right. No hard feelings, man.
Right, exactly.
You'll live to campaign another day.
You're a young guy. Later, you'll be the attorney general, right? Isn't that what he was on Scandal?
I think
Which
so.
I've never watched.
I think so. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought the West Wing Weekly podcast was good. The campaign stories were good, and that one about Gephardt was kind of tragic.
Yeah.
I felt bad about that.
Yeah, it's always good to have Eli Addy on to tell us all of the backstory and inside scoop, and for sure.
Learned that, in fact, reporters do roll oranges down the aisle.
Yeah.
People can't ignore an orange, There's a lot of things you can ignore, but...
Right. And I did think it was funny on the podcast that they were like, well, how many oranges are in play at one time? Like, what if somebody else got your orange with your question?
That's right. And I mean, does somebody bring a bag of oranges?
Right.
How many oranges are on the average airplane? I guess every reporter just puts an orange in their pocket before they get on the plane.
I think they have to, yeah.
Seems impractical.
They need to have a supply of them on Air Force One or ban them so that
they're not on Air Force One.
I know they're not, but if they're on the campaign plane.
I guess Matt's no longer flying his own plane because they have to have the press.
Right, they need more
Seemed
people.
like a lot of press for the third place guy.
Right. Well,
the guy who's gonna, either mortgage his house or drop out.
Right.
Those are a lot of reporters. Did they draw the short straw?
Well, maybe they think it's more interesting to be on that
I guess
story.
so, to the downfall of Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they lucked it out. And Helen had her hair in a ponytail. I thought she was on the way to the bun, but then it was down.
It'll be coming, and we didn't get to see Kate Harper and check out her hair.
We didn't. Next week is a Kate Harper story.
Okay.
So, as I recall, I remember that one as being kind of overblown, but we'll see.
Okay.
But it did have her in it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully she's had a chat with the hairstyling people
right.
and said, no more curls, no more bangs.
Yeah.
I'm doing serious business.
Right.
Well, speaking of next week, we will be watching the West Wing episode 90 Miles Away, as well as one episode of Fosse Verdon, because we're catching up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're watching the episode Nowadays, which, given the name of the episode and where we seem to be in the timeline, we got to be getting some Chicago, right? We got to be getting some Chicago numbers. Don't we got to be getting some Chicago numbers? I'd like to see some razzle-dazzle. Come on, man.
Me too.
I can't see this ending in a happy way, this is the miniseries at all, but you got to give us some musical numbers before we go out. Throw us some bones, y'all. Come on.
Yes,
all right. We'll see. We're hanging on. We're sticking it through all the difficult stuff, but I'd like to see some dancing is all I'm saying. All right. So that is going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.